Hi friends, Jody Genealogy. We're going to explore the stories left behind, the dark corners, the forgotten names, the truths that never made it into the textbooks. This is Jody Genealogy, where we deep dive into the past to uncover what was lost and what still lingers. Buckle up for another Appalachian story. Ooh, I like these Appalachian stories. Ooh, I can't wait. Deep from down in the holler where the past might be closer than you think. All right, lean in because today we're talking about the original pale peeps. Everybody likes a peep, right? Well, these are a different kind of little peeps. Well, they were considered pale people of the holler, one of the Appalachians folklores out there. No, not the ones who spent all summer playing Minecraft. I'm talking about the Moon-Eyed People. Has anybody heard of the Moon-Eyed People before? I love these folklore stories. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so much fun. Now, if you're like me, a pale skin, blue eyes, and kind of complexion that burns under a 40-watt light bulb, yep, that's me. You might feel a sudden sense of kinship. I am so pale, it's not funny. It's like ghostly, especially in the winter time. Well, according to the Cherokee legend, long before they settled into the Blue Ridge Mountains, there was already someone living there. These folks, said to be short, had skin as white as a fresh gallon of milk. Their eyes were huge. Pale blue, and so sensitive to the sun that they were basically useless during the day. Well, that kind of sounds like me. Also, because I'm not a morning person. I'd much rather be up at night. Definitely sounds like me. Oh my goodness, where are we going? This is some mutation. I bet my family comes from the Appalachians. Is that how you say that? I don't know. I always get that word wrong. They say that in the Appalachian Mountains, the dirt has memory. If you dig deep enough into the red clay of Georgia or the limestone of the North Carolina, you'll find more than just roots. You'll find stories that don't fit into textbooks these days. They lived in these little round houses with dirt roofs, staying underground or in caves until the sun went down. They were the ultimate night owls. But here is where the horror, part of the folklore horror, kicks in. Legend says they weren't exactly great neighbors. Evidently, a conflict broke out with the Cherokee or the Creek people, depending on who's telling the story. Long before the Cherokee moved into the Southern Highlands, there was a race of beings that defined the natural order. They weren't giants, they weren't Bigfoot, and they weren't monsters. They were men and women and children who lived in the cracks of the world. They were so pale, they were said to glow under the canopy of the forest. They were the Moon-Eyed People. They were the reason I finally understand why I feel more alive at midnight than I do before noon. This probably makes sense. I think I might be a relative. They waited for a full moon. The light was so bright that it practically blinded the Moon-Eyed People, and they were driven right out of their homes. Some say they fled west to Tennessee, and others say they retreated deep into the cave systems. Where there were nobody around. And they're still down there. You never know what you might find way down in the depths of a cave, right? You can actually see traces of them today, or so people say. Over a Fork Mountain State Park in Georgia, there is a 850 square foot stone wall that some explain are the Moon-Eyed People. It zigzags around the ridge like a stone serpent. Archaeologists say it's over 1,000 years old, but they can't tell who built it. The Cherokee legends are specific. They say they didn't build it, but they say the wall was already there when they arrived, built by a race of people who could only work at night. Ooh, this is getting a little creepy. I'm gonna have nightmares. Imagine a civilization operating in total darkness. Their wide blue eyes scanning the terrain in the shades of gray and silver. They didn't need torches. They didn't need the sun. They built their homes underground and earth lodges because the daylight was a no-go. But history is rarely kind to those who are different. The legend says that the Cherokee eventually grew tired of these mysterious neighbors. They realized that the Moon-Eyed People had a weakness, a biological switch-off. They waited for a full moon, and to us, the moonlight is gentle. But to a creature whose eyes are turned to pitch black, a full moon is like a flash boom, a boom and a bang. The Cherokee were said to attack the Moon-Eyed People in the blinded light of day. They were driven from their stone walls, forced into the deepest caverns, and according to the books that are lost in time, the legends, though, don't die. They just transform a bit, and maybe, never know, we could be part of them. There are scholars that try to explain the Moon-Eyed People away. Some say they were Welsh explorers who got lost in the 12th century. Yeah, they are kind of white, aren't they? Others say it was a community of people with albinism who banded together for survival. But I have a different theory. I think they never left. I think when their war was over, the survivors did what survivors do. They just blended in. They retreated to the hollers where the sun only hits for a few hours a day. They married into the settler families. Well, that's my theory anyway. They arrived centuries later. They tucked their light sensitivity into DNA of the mountains. I mean, what do you think? That's what I think. Every time I walk into a grocery store and have to squint against the fluorescent lights, if you do that, do you feel them? Every time you find yourself staying up until 3 a.m. because the world finally feels right when it's dark, do you feel them? I would have to say yes. Blue eyes and a pale skin aren't just a quirk of the family tree, maybe? Maybe a map. They are an inheritance of people who saw the world differently, who knew the most beautiful things aren't found in the sun, but in the shadows, where the creepy stuff is sometimes. If you're listening to this and you've ever felt like a stranger in daylight, if you've ever felt strange magnetic pulls toward the caves and the mist, look in the mirror. Look at your eyes. The Moon-Eyed People are a ghost story. They're still here. That's what I think. And the night is just the beginning. So the next time you're hiking in the Appalachia and you feel something is watching you from the shadows of the cave, don't worry. It's probably just a moon-eyed person wondering if you have extra strength sunglasses. And I'm telling you, as someone who gets blinded by the reflection of a snowy Michigan driveway, I get it. We're basically cousins. What do you think? Were they a lost tribe? Were they confused explorers from Wales? Let me know in the comments. Do you think they just evolved into who we are today? That's what I kind of think. So I'm your host, Jody Genealogy, and this has been the Children of the Blue Hour, or the Moon-Eyed People. Have a great day. Until next time, our creepy stories, morbid Mondays, or things that are spooky, or some history evolves, or some fun history tales. If you like this kind of thing, make sure to like and subscribe, and please leave a comment. Let me know if you've ever heard of this. Have a great day, everybody. Bye. Okay, then go back to the blah 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 history books. Okay.